and using that wall to shut down sound so that you can get rotations out. I'm not sure if I like picking the Omen over the Astra, but I want to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, and obviously on top of that, if you haven't seen Chicago in previous matches as well, they do like to ping in that Sky as well, so it'll be interesting to see how Sky does in all of this as well. Like I said, interesting picks back and forth between the two teams.
Yeah, it's always nice to not have to see a mirror matchup, because that I feel tends to be a little bit too easy to figure out how the teams play. When there's a little bit more variety in composition, then you start to think, all right, well, what is the specific strategy, the specific thought process behind this particular agent? But we're going to be jumping straight into the game here with a very, very early Sage Ball to shut down Garage.
It does not surprise me in the slightest, and the pistol round is always a very nervy start, especially when it is the first match on stream. And Gina thought about grabbing that orb, trying to bait out with the sound cube, but not going to take it for the time being. Quickly rotates back towards the area. And Pixu is going to try and get some information. Not really much that they'd like to relay, but still.
Out of charges.
Might have been able to spot the head just above the canister on the site, so that would give a little bit of information. But here we're going to get the Trailblazer coming through to see. Oh, gets a little bit of information there, the Tasmanian Devil, but a nice distraction with the recon dot.
Yeah, and the push is absolutely happening now. Everyone's coming on in, guns ablaze, and the spike is going to go down on the left-hand side there, so Beth not that far away from that spike at all, and the smoke does go down. Quickly takes the corner, but nobody is there, and does not win out the exchange either. So the frenzy of the Jet does get an actual drop in there, and it continues 2 versus 3, 1 versus 3. It is just the Omen and a Ghost. This is going to be a very hard one for them to win, but they're holding this down as best they can.
38 HP and a dream. Ooh, doesn't tap the spike. Oh, swings into the smoke and gets shut down. Solid round here from F5. They got the early information. They moved on to site. And there's that recon dot that I was talking about a little bit earlier on. As she turns around to swing on it, managed to get the information on the raise as well. Drops her down to the ground. Great post-plant positions here from F5. Had every angle covered. And TGH Lunar just kind of fall to the wayside there. Now it's all about, do they force up? And no, they're not going to force up this round. I've seen that trend a lot recently, and it's really weird to me, so I'm glad to see they're going to be sticking with their pistols while F5 go for a little bit of an upgrade.
Nice to see people be a little bit more safer rather than just immediately going all out. And speaking of all out, though, that is a double immediately for Fate, and that is a very good shot from Pixu to bring this back down to a level playing field.
Oh man, please nerf shotguns. They're so ridiculously overpowered. In fact, a round 2 judge is quite an investment, but works out, pays dividends. Oh, what a beautiful defense there to allow the plant to go through. The spike is down, and the last 2 players for TGH, really low HP here.
Oh, and Fane, no! Fane literally turned away at the worst possible moment, and it gifts F5 that point in the end. Free surviving for them. And you gotta feel for them. That was just unfortunate.
Oh, you hate to see that. Didn't clear the angles deep enough, only checked the left side, ignores the right side entirely, and pays dearly for it. Might actually have been able to win out that 1v1, but not to be. And now again, true to form, we're gonna see the TGH ladies full buy up here. Interesting to note that they're running 3 Vandals, where Phantom seems to be the order of the day recently, particularly in this heavy smoke meta. You know, Phantoms don't have those tracer rounds, so a little bit easier to spam through. But, of course, the Vandal, you can get a lot of value down range, and with C-Long being a thing, not too surprising that they would opt to go for a little bit more distant firepower.
Not surprised in the slightest. But no, neither team going to lose out anyone just yet. A lot of utility being deployed by the Cypher. Quickly returns a little bit and regroups back towards the center. Nobody wants to take that early poke, and you get the feeling that Luna are just like almost anticipating another A, since that is where it's been for the past 2 pushes so far. But F5 trying to play that to their advantage, trying to lurk around a little bit. Might still be and ahhing about a beat here.
Speaking of the lurk, Medica trying to get something done, gets spotted out. manages to retreat at least, so the lurk gets shut down, but it looks like F5 are going for a B hit, and well, I'm not a fan of the B hit, but let's see if they can make something happen.
Yeah, you generally see A or C going up, but that's going to be another drop, so F5 will lose 2 in there, and yet despite all of that, still managed to get the spike down, and finally get one back, but it is just the Astra, and surely that will be that. It is, they're down, and that will be a defuse, and that will be TGH on the boards.
Well, they had the gun advantage, which was always going to be a big one, and then they had the advantage of F5 going for the B hit, which is my least favorite of every map, of every site in every map. It is the one that I will always criticize because it's the easiest one to defend. We see it time and time again, and unless you have some big ultis or you manage to take early control of the links, it's so difficult to actually get a plant down there. And we've just seen that play out in front of us. They weren't able to get that spike down, and now F5 are forced onto a very janky buy. They're not able to full buy up here, and THG Lunar looking a little bit better off in this round 4.
So we start our 4th point, wall already down through the gate, and that's going to be part of the gate immediately rinsed on down. Again, F5 buying the time, another quick little flash. Beth does manage to look away in time and jets the heck out of that and gets themselves a pick in the process. So 5v4 advantage for the time being, but it looks like Cypher is still trying to get some form of information around C area. I don't think they realize there's somebody waiting for them though.
I like this slower approach to the site. And unfortunately, they already lost one down in sewer, so definitely not really feeling themselves on this one. But it looks like they're going for the A hit again, opting not to go for that weird B push. They do have the Cypher lurk a little bit more towards C. They actually dropped the trap really high up in C as well. Oh no, they didn't drop the trap there. So she's holding on to her trap, waiting for a good time to actually put it down.
Jet being caught on the back foot, but stays alive for the time being. But it has given chance for Cypher to come right back into this. Astra goes down, and so too does Sky. Finally, they do at least get the pick of their own. But it's a 3v2. Make that! Oh my goodness me! That's a triple!
One enemy remaining.
No, no! Oh, great spray transfer there, but Nessa with the judge cleans it up.
30 seconds.
I don't think she came into the round with that judge. I think she picked that up, knowing that it was going to be that kind of close quarters fight to the death at the end there, and a great utilization of that judge, particularly combined with that paranoia. Fantastic play there. That's another round for Luna. And now we've got the operator on the board, and F5 are forced down to an eco. So this is pretty much a round in the bag for Lunar, assuming, of course, we can see those shots get hit from Beth.
I mean, I was going to say, we have seen some recent Valorant shenanigans where these kind of strange things have still managed to go in the favor when you least expect it. So we'll soon find out, but you would assume that TGH would have the advantage here, and they're gonna go for that poke. Actually get themselves a double! An aggressive Sage on the get-go. No! Flawless? Flawless!
Oh, wow. That was so unfortunate because the flash actually came through and connected. But Angelica just wasn't able to actually connect those shots. And while Medica gets this orb, some great cover from Nessa to make sure she's able to finish it. It finishes the round off with the 3K. And once again, full buy. Obviously, Luna didn't lose any players. But F5 are back in the game now, where they've managed to full buy up once again. And like I said, a lot of those Vandals coming through. We're seeing that still being heavily favored here. So hopefully it nets them the results that they're hoping for. As once again, I mean, go again and again and again. This time I'm curious to see which site they're going to hit. They haven't really tried for B yet. You know, that kind of garage push. Oh, sorry, not B, to C. The garage push and then pushing up long. The operator's on B, so if they did choose to go for the C hit, there's some potential there to try and dodge out the operator. But it looks like it's going to be another A hit.
You just get the sinking feeling that A is going to be the way to go for this entire round, it seems. And again, another tripwire is waiting for them to just like peek on through, and Gina hoping to get themselves a pick of their own, but quickly rotates out, knowing full well that the target's probably going to come out, spots the tripwire, and that will be that done and dusted. Oh!
Medica seemed to be... those shots seem to go a little wild. Oh, but Nessa has got the angle.
Again, patiently waited, and another headshot! A headshot from there, you love to see it, and that gives the Omen the double. It is still a 3v3 at the very least, and we are going to see a push going to C. Great shot!
Such good prediction from Beth. She knew that the Seekers coming up meant that they were going to push up behind it. Doesn't shoot the Seekers, but instead goes for the upshot, but dies to Angelica. No! Oh, that could have been such a good round for Luna, but what a fantastic round from F5. The distraction that they created towards C long, and all the while, this is what I was talking about, that garage pushing up C long. I'm glad that they swapped up their strategy for this round because it worked so well. They managed to get all those picks towards garage, push onto the site, and when it's the last person left alive and they whip that last off shot, very easy follow-up. Now, Luna still able to full buy up apart from Beth being a little bit of a glass cannon, but that was a pivotal round for F5, and they're coming into this one with two very big ultimates, so we'll see if they can continue their streak.
Yeah, and it looks like a full-on push to C is on the horizon as well. Bixu again trying to get information, and she's gonna go that, and here comes the showstopper immediately. That's a lot of utility coming on in. No dice with the showstopper, but it is gonna be Cypher who drops it down. Double for Raze as they take out the Omen in the midst of all of that, and that will be a plant on C.
Gina! A great little flick there. But it's going to be very difficult to try and take this one back. The Cosmic Divide is up from F5. A little bit of a sound cue. Gina manages to get a second. She's evened out the numbers here and pops her showstopper.
Can she get any proper purchase with it as well? Not quite. Sage actually gets the raise as well, and has actually turned this number advantage right the opposite way. Cypher is down. It's just the Astra in a 4v1. They'll get the headshot, but they won't get any more than that. That will be a defuse, and that will be TGH Lunar taking that point when, honestly, with the way that started, you're surprised to see F5 not win that in the end.
Honestly, Gina played such a pivotal role there, but another big issue was how far back F5 were holding their defense. They had no ultimates really to justify holding so far away. Now, sometimes you can just kind of peek out, you kind of wait for the sound of the tap spike, then maybe you swing out and get the picks while the potential defuse is going through. But for them to have held so far back without having really any utility to justify it, kind of shot themselves in the foot there. They did have one on site, but of course Gina came through with some fantastic gunmanship there. And that's a couple of ultimates used from F5. So now from both of these teams, very few ultimates across the board. And Medica is going to, like, they've had it with these C shenanigans. They're going to completely shut that down with a wall. And that's going to, for the time being anyway, force the spike to move towards A.
Potentially. They're still not fully committing just yet. And again, both Cyphers, as you pretty much alluded to, both teams have an ult left, and both of them with the Cypher. Ironically enough, TGH has just had the Omen ult ping up on there as well, so a little bit to play with to really mess with the heads of F5 if they choose to do so, but obviously they're not going to bite anytime soon. Grenades going out. Angel tries to get the hit with the ghost, but actually it's a trade. I think it's a trade. I think they got it with a grenade.
Yeah. The paint shells coming in clutch, I guess. A bit of a surprise there, but the two Razors will take each other down. And the spike has started to move, in the interim, over towards the C site. TGH have, of course, clocked that very quickly. Didn't actually manage to...
Spike down.
And Nessa gets a kill in the midst of all of that going on, so it's a 3v2, make that a 3v1, make that a 3-0. Luna again with another point on the bag, and wow, that again just turned in an instant.
I loved that kind of Omen TP to get out of the Hunter's Fury once the recon bolt had come through, but At that point, you know, Beth with the operator as well. Just a really, really solid retake from TGH. They have some really good retakes. I think the best bet for F5 is going to be going for those A hits,
This is a nice
but they need to sort out their post-plant positions. Now, C is fairly easy to retake. It can be difficult since there are only 2 entryways, but it's enemy kill. You still have a decent opportunity to split up focus. So A might be the best bet, but if Beth stays on A, I mean, never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, again, like your Jet, you kind of wander up and expect somebody to turn around that corner, and it doesn't really matter where you hit, you're probably going to get yourselves a pick. And with that, it's already a player advantage for TGH. And F5 rethinking their strategy, they're going away from A, and maybe looking like another B, maybe even a C at this stage, but again, only time will tell, and it does look like they are finally starting to go around. C might be the call.
Sage wall is broken down, so they're moving towards garage. Now the Cypher Cam is going to spot out that there's nothing on B. They know that there's nothing on A because they have a few set up on A. The Tripwire has just given the information that they're in garage, so now the rotation is going to start to come through. This would actually be a prime opportunity for F5 to pull back and go to A, but it looks like they're going to commit.
And they've gotten the better of it so far. 2 managing to go down. Vegeta gets one on the back as well. So it's a 3v3 situation. Feint is going to spot where it's going to spot and immediately quickly rotates back. But that is going to be a plant onto C. Enemies have been revealed at the very least. But this is going to be interesting. Another flag. No, stopped!
Absolutely shut down by Chicago there. Feint tries to make something happen. It's all down to Beth with the operator. 1v3, whiffs the shot. Some great work there from F5 to get onto the site. I like the way that they approached that. I was a little concerned at first after they'd given away so much information and had kind of caused that rotation to come so quickly. But there, right there that we just saw, they swing out as a 3 stack and Pixie was able to get 2 kills off the back of that. And then I kind of spoke about how their post plants had been lackluster previously. This time around, they managed to shut it down quite nicely with really good control of the site, making sure that no matter where Lunar tried to push out from, they were just going to walk into someone's crosshairs. Now as we move over onto the next one, we saw the neural theft being burned from Lunar, but F5 still have theirs available. But it is the only ult... Oh, there's still the Omen TP. Lunar have actually managed to build up yet... they've managed to hold on to that TP for this long. Haven't had a chance to actually use that yet.
Oh, this could be dangerous. Beth going all the way up and gets the headshot immediately, but the smoke up as well. And that is going to be a very quick pick for them. But the rest of F5 have made it, and that's a dangerous place for Angel to be. Gets away with it. Very nice use of the packet to just give themselves that little height, but unfortunately it's not enough as Feint does finally get the pick, but it's going to get traded out. They're trading left and right here. It's a 4v2 advantage for Luna. Oh, that's just unfortunate.
Oh no, Nessa. I shouldn't laugh, but they're like, just the positioning of that TP just to get into the middle of the site. Oh man, and didn't actually cancel the teleport either, which is the worst part because you see the person on site. Here it is in slow motion. No, don't do it to him.
Boom.
You did it to them. You did it to them.
You gotta feel for them. It's just like the second you see that, and it's like, well, we gave you a chance. You accepted it, so
Oh, spicy stuff. And in that round, F5 managed to build up 3 more ultimates to complement the neural theft that they still had available. And of course, Luna burned their teleport in that one. F5 looking to potentially make a comeback here, although unfortunately, they're down to pistols, which is not a good position to be in. So looking to probably just kind of lose out this round. Oh no, the flank. Bets on the flank. Oh no. There's a pincer. They're all on the flank.
Down mid.
Goodness me. Could you all just calm down for 5 seconds, please? So we got a 4v2 situation. It's going to be Luna immediately. Look how far back Medica is, as Pixuru is going to have to try and just get on with this here. The cage is not going to give them much. I think they realize now that someone is probably behind them, and this is dangerous.
I'm surprised that we didn't see a banging through the garage door there, because it was fairly obvious where that shock dart came from. I thought Feint would try and get the kill through onto Pixu, but opt to back away instead, I suppose, not
Oh
give
my
away the
gosh.
positioning.
You just look at the map and it's just like, literally, they're all in a box. It's like the worst situation for F5.
Oh,
That's a triple for
there
Fate,
it
and that
is.
was... You just feel like that was inevitable.
That was so fun to watch, though, because, like, everyone was going on a potential flank. We had Medica all the way down C long. Then we had Beth coming through A, through sewers, all the way towards the defender's spawn. And it created this massive pincer where F5 could only go in one of two directions. They either have to go garage or they have to go B. And by the time they've decided what they're doing, they're down to 2 players left chilling in garage, trying to find something to do. And again, the pincer just continues to come through. But it was a pistol, so we weren't expecting too much out of that one. Now, however, they are able to buy up. They have 5 ultimates available to them. But of course, they will potentially have to contend with Beth's Blade Storm. It is online, but it hasn't been used just yet. I don't think we won't see that until there's some pressure.
Well, Showstopper going out. The laser goes out as well, but unfortunately, Angel is going to go down. Another Showstopper for Gina on board. That is going to catch nobody either. Like, literally, this is the round before the half, so you pretty much need to use up the ults anyway. And again, more ults being utilized. Button is going to run all the way over to C, but they're going to get met by the Omen. Who is going to blink first? That is going to be the question. Nessa is ready, and Beth does have the op. And it is going to be Nessa who gets the pick first. Can they get anything on the long? They can't. And Beth keeping in that position, keeping in the corner. Mitsuru has to make the move. Chaz actually gets a pick in the midst of all of this. And somehow, this might still go the other way. It's a triple for the Astra. And that is going to be the point for F5.
Oh my goodness. That was such a good play. I am actually astounded that she was able to get that much value. Just off the back of that amazing cosmic divide as soon as anybody was peeking out. And she did so well there, kind of strafing back and forth with that blue box and getting really great sightlines. Like, I'm taken aback that I think the biggest problem there was that we weren't seeing good swings. Like, if you are going to be trying to defend that in a post-plant, you want to be swinging together. You don't want to push out one by one, and that's exactly what we saw happening. So it was really easy to get the pickoffs there. But now, of course, we're into the second half. Lunar are going to be on their attacking side, and at a 7-5 half, it's not too bad for F5. And there's definitely potential to turn it around.
Absolutely is. It's a 2-point game at the moment, but it's going to be Angelica who gets the first pick of the new round. The second pistol round is always a crucial time, especially when it's this close between the two teams. And all of the utility being spent on C long, as finally they start to rotate out just a little bit, and now they're going back towards mid. Or are they? Maybe they'll still go A.
Losing one player, it does change things up a little bit, but it's the old make some noise on one half of the map and then immediately start moving to the other. However, they elephanted through sewers, the sound cues went through, and Sick Button has got the sight on... Never mind.
I mean, they did have it on lockdown, but the Sage says, no you don't, not anymore. And once again, we are going to see a plant on the pistol round for the free advantage for F5 at this stage. But so far, Luna are holding on to this site.
Well, they've got one lurking towards the defender's spawn, Chicago. And this is the best way that you want to try and mount this post-plant defense, or this retake, rather. But that's assuming... No, she doesn't win out the battle, and that's seriously bad news for F5 because they needed that lurk. They needed that extra play, and now they have to try and engage with what they have.
One enemy remaining.
It's a 2v2, it's a 2v1, and F5 are down. And Luna are going to take our second pistol round. Just barely holding on with the race, but Sage, again, crucially holding her own.
Honestly, Gina is someone who I remember from the very first Huntress trials, and she did some fantastic work there, and it's just shining through once again here. Some really, really clutch moments there. So that's going to be the first pistol round of the half now, obviously, as we move into the second one. Team that won the pistol buys up. We've even got a Marshall on the board, which is very interesting to see. But of course, F5 opting to stay saving up. Again, we've been seeing some really weird things happen with some teams forcing up after losing the first pistol. Really glad to see that trend hasn't filtered through to the ladies. We're keeping it, logical here on the ladies' side of Valorant.
Common sense, it does prevail in the end. A lot of ghost hits, but finally they do find their mark, and Angelica is going to get themselves a pick, but unfortunately, immediately taken down by Feint, our wonderful little Cypher. So a 4v3 advantage at the moment for Lunar, as they and ah about this B push. They are going to try and see if they can do what F5 couldn't. Ooh. And once again, Medica just strolls on through and gets another pick.
That Sage Wall is so powerful when you know you're coming up against classics. It's so much, or it takes so much longer to actually break that wall down. So this B hit that I normally absolutely despise, well, it's going to be a fake, because the spike's going to be moving over towards the C site, and F5 haven't clocked it, or they're just looking for upgrades.
Spike
okay, they're going to grab a couple of upgrades and then push their way. They're splitting up though, which is very dangerous.
This could go very badly for them if they're not careful. The smoke comes down, and Nessa again just patiently bides their time and catches them on the back foot. It means it is just Astra versus 3 of Lunar, and it looks like they're thinking of backing out already, but you really can't be dropping too many points in the early stages of the second half. But it looks like they are just going to wait their moment, it seems.
I think this is just trying to hold on to the Vandal. It's very seldom that you can pick up one of those, especially in the second round, so hold on to that, save it. My biggest question is, how the hell do you say her name? She's Brelafath? Maybe?
There's a reason why. Yeah, in either case though, they hold on to the weapon. They're just gonna bide their time, but again, you just see that smoke, and that's what I do love about some of the players, a lot of the players in this game. It's like sometimes you don't need to make the first move. If you know the smoke's about to drop down, you just wait for it to drop on the off chance that somebody is already there, and you generally are the first ones to blink first. So it's nice patient play from TGH Lunar. It means that they have a 4-point lead. And so far, this second half is all theirs at the moment.
Coming into the bonus round here, but that means that F5 have been able to buy up. So they've definitely got the gun advantage here. It is a swift C hit. Spike is already down, and the slow reactions from F5, it's going to take them a second to get into position for this retake. Especially because TGH Lunar, they've got people all the way down C long, and they've also got some on site. So they've got every avenue covered here. This is going to be a very difficult retake.
Oh, wow! A headshot of all things to go through. And that is going to give TGH Lunar a great advantage. But F5 not out of it completely. They managed to bring the numbers down 3-2. But now it is just the Rays who actually does get themselves a pick on the board. I don't know if it'll be enough time to defuse that spike. It absolutely won't be. But they managed to get themselves a triple on the board before the Marshal finally ends it.
Oh, wow. Great work there from Beth. That beautiful headshot. At first, destroys the drone, then manages to get such a sick flick onto that head. Beautiful play there. I don't know. I feel like that couldn't have gone any better. That was always going to be a difficult retake, but for them to have shut down the site so well on that post-plant, fantastic. Now F5, once again, forced down to a bit of an eco. They do buy up to a judge and 2 sheriffs, but not too much more than that. The judge makes sense to try and hold some of these close angles. But with TGH Lunar on a full buy here, they've also got the res available, so if they lose one, they're going to be able to bring that one back up. Only really going to be contending with a showstopper, but if F5 use that, that is a ridiculously expensive round. So I don't expect to see that come out this round.
Yeah, not just yet. I mean, damage limitations at this stage, but for F5, they really do need to get this second half on the way for them, as Medica is going to drop immediately. To Chaz, the Sheriff does manage to find the target, and F5 have a player advantage, but the big question is, can they take advantage of this now?
I wonder think it's still resable if they choose to. They do need to be careful of a potential lurk. Okay, no. Cypher's retreating back up C-Long, so not too much concern there. And now it's just about finding out that information. Where do we want to go to plant this spike?
Chicago is just waiting there, and you just get this feeling that there might be a poke coming in just a moment.
Nice.
And actually, yep, Gina gets one of them. Will Angelica get the revenge? No, they cannot. It's a double for Gina, and Feint gets in on the action as well. That surely will be a plant on A.
No need to nerf the judge if you take down the agent that's holding it, but that's going to be a showstopper to try and deny any entrance onto the A side. Because yes, the spike is going to go down, and now it's all about those post plants. But in a 4v2, I don't know if I see F5 turning this around. Not on the A side.
Yes, we managed to get another sheriff, and again against Gina this time. So 3-2 advantage for TGH Lunar. Astra finally gets taken down, and that means it is just the Cypher left for F5, and you just get this, you get the sinking feeling that they're going to retreat this.
Trying to save anything there. It was just the sheriff. So we come into the next round, and hopefully they'll be able to buy up a little bit here. This was so good. Gina surviving this was absolutely ridiculous. The gravity well comes in, and I think the gravity well is actually part of what saves her. You can actually see Angelica trying so hard to aim at her, and every time she aims, Gina gets sucked into the well, and so she kind of moves out of the crosshair. You never think that enemy Astra utility is going to save you, but there you go, on your screens. Just saved her from a judge. Fantastic. And now, ooh, F5 finally bringing an operator onto the board. It is going to be the Cypher. Very seldom that we see a Cypher holding onto an operator, but we're going to be seeing her holding down C, and that's going to have that entire site unlocked. But F5 not looking to push either C or A. Getting that information early on before making the decision. Ooh, whips the shot.
Not quite gets the first shot they were looking for. They'll have to try and hope for the second, but again, they'll know that Beth is there now. They'll be very, very careful to be poking out of B anytime soon. That is going to be a flash. Quickly turns around, gets away with it. Neither of them were able to take the shot. The drone goes out as well. Immediately gets the recon information and picks through again. Quickly hops on back a little bit as everybody's just slowly revealing their cards, but it looks like it is going to be A again is the target for TGH.
Oh man, and there's such an early rotation from F5 as well. They only have one person towards the A site, which means this is going to be an easy plant. And if Luna managed to take full control of the site, I mean, there you go. The sage wall is up. They know that there's someone behind the sage wall because it's being shot at. Gina takes a very good position here on the wall, so going to have a really good vantage point. No one seems to be lurking around the back of the site, so this should, theoretically, be a very easy post plant.
I think so. The slow orbs and walls are all down. But it's F5 who lost the player. Gina is just chilling here on top of the wall for the time being. They know they have to make the move. Showstopper is out. Headshot. Double headshot. Will it be the triple? It is the triple, and it's a flawless as well. And that will put TGH on match point here to give themselves the first point of this set.
Gina had such a good position on that wall. I mean, oh, look at this. It was just so easy. They weren't even expecting her to be there. Interestingly enough, Sick expected her to hop down, and she did, but whiffs the op shot. Gina manages to just kind of swing a little bit to the side, and with 4 people firing at you, one Sick button wasn't going to be able to get too much done there. Now, as you mentioned, it's match point, and F5 not looking good coming into this. All they have to play with in terms of ultimates is going to be the Seekers and the Neural Theft. That's not going to be too much. Luna still holding on to that res, so if they absolutely need it, they're going to have that one available to them. And in fact, we're seeing a fairly aggressive stance here from F5, pushing out very deep to try and shut down as quickly as possible, but see, that just gives away
a ton of information, and now everything else is going to be coming up immediately. The flash comes out, but again, Jet gets away with it. Ooh. Gina is going to be the first one to go down. Was not expecting that exchange to happen so early on. It gives F5 a slight lifeline, but they've all won. Oh god, they got away with it as well. It's a 4v4.
A beautiful trade. No way is the Huntress Fury from downtown. No way.
Excuse me.